What's the scariest movie you've ever watched? And no, I'm not talking about Scream. We're not talking about what's your favorite scary movie. But seriously, what is your favorite scary movie? What's the scariest scene you've ever seen in a scary movie? For me, Alien vs. Predator is the scariest movie I ever watched. And some of you might laugh at that, but it's this thing of perspective. Take it back to me being around 7 to 9 years old. And the first scary movie I ever watched was Alien vs. Predator. And that chest burster scene scared the living daylights out of me. It was so bad to the point I really didn't want to watch any other horror movies. Even though there were much scarier horror movies out at that time, that scene was something that traumatized me. Some of you may think, oh yeah, that chest burster scene was scary. Other people might have seen that chest burster scene and it was like, it's not scary. And looking back at it now, watching it now, that chest burster scene really wasn't that scary. But at that time as a kid, when your imagination's running wild, it's the scariest thing for me. But why are we talking about scary movies? Well, as you can see by the title, I missed out on Friday the 13th. And I'm not talking about the day or the movie, but we kind of are talking about the movie. We're talking about the game adaptation by iPhonic, the people that made Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They released Friday the 13th on May 26th, way back. This game has recently shut down. I'm recording this on January 3rd, 2025, but this video might not go up till very later. And this game was a game that I can remember as one of those games where it was, what if? Let's talk a little bit about the game. It was a survival horror game. You played as the killer or you played as survivor, and you had various perks and items that can help you survive or be able to catch the survivors. For example, Jason had a lot of perks. Jason could teleport across the map. The map was medium-sized, I would say. It was kind of huge, but medium-sized enough to where Jason could walk around, but you would need to teleport a lot of the times to get to places to catch the different survivors that were running around. Survivors had things like, I believe it was a small pocket knife, so they could be able to get out of Jason's grasp, shotguns, characters that would come back. It was a crazy game that was very popular when it released because Jason had a huge community. And the game grew to have a solid community because not only was Jason a part of it, the game was fun. The game was fun. The one thing that I really appreciate the developers for it, and the thing that really ruined Texas Chainsaw Massacre, was that the game didn't try to be like Dead by Daylight. And that's the problem with a lot of games nowadays. There's nothing wrong with trying to capture what another game is doing. But the one thing that really helped this game succeed was that it felt like a party game. The game never took itself too seriously. The success came from that it was just a chill party game where anything could happen. There was team killing. While that was a problem because there was a lot of people that would get killed for having items that they were just holding and withholding from players, or for getting killed for an item that a player thought they had but really didn't have. Trolling was a big problem in this game, but it was also one of the things that propelled the game so far was the fact that it was just a chill party game. While yes, there were problems, bugs, glitches, etc., it never took itself serious. While there were people that would take it serious, you could still have fun, and that was the whole point. It didn't try to compete with Dead by Daylight to be like Dead by Daylight. It was a fun, chill game that just didn't cater to one specific side of the casual or the competitive. It was like, all right, both people come together and just have fun. The game was silly. It wasn't trying to be competitive. It felt like a genuine horror. And every horror game has this trope where eventually you overcome the fear of the game. Dead by Daylight is fearful at first until you realize the mechanics of the game and it doesn't become scary anymore. Phasmophobia, it's scary at first until you play enough to know what each ghost does, and then it doesn't really become scary anymore. Slender Man doesn't really become scary anymore because of after every single jump scare you've gotten from each Slender Man and Slender Man created clone game, it's just not scary anymore. That's the difference that separates these games. It's not really about the scares or the game being too scary. It's the fun that you have. Slender Man went on for as long as it did because of how fun those games were and how the community really came together to just create Slender Man in all these different type of environments. It was the same game doing the same thing over and over again, but it never took itself serious. Friday the 13th was the same way. You were doing the same thing, escaping Jason over and over and over, but it never felt like the same game. It never felt like it was taking itself serious. If you wanted to hide, you could hide. If you wanted to attack Jason, you could attack Jason. There was many different ways to escape besides just the traditional open the gates and run away. You could leave by car, I believe you could leave by boat, and I believe you could have the cops come. It was a genuine game that just felt genuine. But why is the game shutting down? If you don't know by now and you just honestly weren't paying attention at all to when the game was shutting down, basically it was licensing issues that caused the downfall, because Jason's always been a struggle for anyone wanting to use the Jason title in their games and or movies to really put them in because of the creator. And because of that, when the licensing was up, Friday the 13th was up and they had to shut it down. And there's nothing you could really do to get around licensing issues. That's the short version of it. That's why I saved this to the end, because there's really no drama behind it. It wasn't like they were running out of money. It wasn't like the community was dying. Yes, the community was going down, but that's because they couldn't update the game, because I think the developers just knew at some point this game was just going to end because of the licensing deal, and there was really nothing that could be done. I never played Friday the 13th. I may have played like 1 or 2 games on my friend's console, but other than that, I enjoyed watching people play it. And that's why I have so much knowledge of it. Watching other people play made me want to play it. And I just missed out on it. I missed out on that hype when the game first came out because I just never got around to playing it, and I should have. But now that the game shut down, there's nothing I can do about it now. But the community came together one last time on the last day of Friday the 13th activity on the servers, and just people were just having fun, surrounded around a campfire, not really doing much crazy, and just having a good old time. It was kind of like when I believe Phantasy Star Universe was shutting down their servers, I believe, and everybody was just chilling around the main hub, not really doing much. I believe. I can't remember. Phantasy Star was such a long time ago. I should make a video on that, but that's a rant topic for another day. Friday the 13th was one of the games that I wish somebody else could do, but just make it with a different killer. I mean, it doesn't have to be Jason. Just make your own killer and make your own Friday the 13th. Really sit down, figure out what made this game so special, and create it. Because at the end of the day, this game was very popular. And to me, I feel like anybody can make a Friday the 13th again. Whether it's with the Jason or with a completely different killer. Party games are the things that we are really missing from the industry nowadays. A lot of games cater too much to casual or cater too much to the competitive, especially in the AAA scene. A lot of the things we're missing is just those party games where competitive people and casual people could just come together, and it really didn't matter because at the end of the day, everybody was just doing one thing, and that was having fun. It never took itself serious, and we need more games like that where it doesn't take itself too serious. With that, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do anything you can to help my non-existent videos be seen, and I will see you guys in the next one. Tizaya, signing off.